What's up? Million New Golf. How you guys doing? You know where we're at on Vine and on Twitter. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. So we had a question on Twitter, Million New Golf. Somebody wanted a little bit more clarity on what to focus on and the importance of picking a target, or why we always talk about the target.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of our new students come in and say, you know, people say, you know, they hear the commentators on TV and they say, you need to visualize your shot. And I'm going, I don't know, what does that look like? I'm having trouble visualizing or picturing my golf shots.
Right.
So, you know, I typically, for the better players, we talk about, well, if you're a tennis player and you're getting ready for a second serve in the left side of the service box, when your eyes are on the tennis ball, your attention is on that part of the service box, and you've got a very specific feel that you're delivering through that tennis ball. If you're playing baseball, here's a great baseball tip for you. Make sure you have somewhere to put that baseball in your mind that's easily attainable to. So if you're not so good and you're playing just the mixed leagues and you just want to get it over second base, well, pick the flight that you want to hit it over second base. You say it's got to go like that, and just wait for the pitch that matches that picture. And then you'll know when to hit the ball because you've got a place to put it. You'll notice that really helps your baseball.
Yeah.
So when you're looking down at the golf ball, I ask my students, what do you see when you look down at the ball? And they say, well, I see a golf ball. Well, that's kind of trouble because that makes the ball your target and you'll tend to stop at the ball. And that's what we talk about, well, you're not shifting your weight, you're not clearing your hips, and you don't have a follow through. Well, yeah, that will not happen if the ball is your target. So how do we get you to swing out to the target?
Yeah, so let's talk about that, because if you're a better player, I think the default of better players, I think what Shawn's saying is the default of better players is to become golf swing bound when things aren't going well. And we know that better players, lower handicaps, perform better when they have a shot in mind.
That's right.
And the shot in mind creates the feeling of their setup, which allows them to do that.
Right.
That's great, but we look at the handicaps of the world of golfers, and they're all not single digit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate, John. If I'm like new to golf, I'm going out with my friends, and you're like a low handicap, and you're like, well, just picture a shot. I can't get there because I'm so afraid of missing the ball, and all the people around look at me going, oh, he missed the shot, right?
Right, exactly.
I can't get to worrying about picturing a shot because I just want to hit it.
You don't have that experience yet.
Right.
Exactly. So to build the right experience, we're going to, remember we talked in our first shows about this being a grass cutting tool, and that being your dandelion in disguise. And we're going to put a little intermediate point here in front of the ball, just a couple of feet in front of the ball, so it's in your peripheral vision. And you're going to take this tool and you're going to give it a nice little cut through the dandelion stem in the direction of that intermediate point. Okay. And then you're going to sit back and observe. You go, ponder.
So if, let's say I'm at the range with you, and I every time I try and do that, I just like whack the ground.
Okay.
Would you say, okay, let's get rid of the ball and just start by seeing if I can shave the grass?
One of the things that we do, we have we have a use for pennies since we're not being, we can't use pennies anymore here in Canada. So we put a couple of pennies on the ground and in line with each other, and you're just going to use the sole of the club to clip through the pennies along the ground. Okay. Because you don't want to have the planet in your way, because if the planet's in your way, you can't go to the target.
Yep.
So if we take the pennies and we clip along the ground through the pennies, or you can use a couple little plastic, discs if you're doing this at home. Or you can take a couple of tees and plant them in the ground and cut through two tees in line with each other. And that gives you a nice sense of continuity along the ground and out in a direction.
Okay.
So then you put your ball on a tee. You don't focus on the ball. You focus on, you see in your mind, you see the tee that's under the ball. You see the sole of the club that's in a great position to cut through that tee. And you're going to zip through the tee and out into the picture.
Okay, nice. Another thing that we've got obviously the firmness of a mat, and compared with the rigidity of the ground.
Yes.
We're obviously wired for self-preservation, and the fear of injury is the fastest way to learn a new habit.
Yes.
So if you're at the range and you just keep like smashing the ground, try and find, maybe you have an old club, or just try and find a spot or make an imaginary swing like there was a ball on the cart path. Because I guarantee you're going to figure out a new way to move.
Yes, we did that as juniors. I remember the day, clear as a bell. It was so much fun. One of the guys, the range was empty because it just rained.
Yeah.
And then and so you have the clubhouse, then you have a paved path, then it goes up onto the range. So the storm is coming, or the next storm is coming. We put a couple of balls down on pavement. We're having fun skipping balls off the pavement out into the range. And we're seeing the sparks fly and all that stuff.
Nice.
But all of us, none of us beat the club into the pavement because we knew how that would hurt.
Right.
So this is concrete underneath this, and we're just going and just deflecting the sole of the club off the cement or off that asphalt. And it was amazing how it was nicking and the ball was meeting the center of that club face, and the ball was just soaring into the air. It was a lot of fun. So again, that's a great way to go about, changing things up.
So to wrap this one up, focus, target, new to the game versus experienced.
Yes.
If you're highly experienced in the game, you need to make sure that you have a clear picture in your mind, because that's going to dictate how your setup feels and keep you focused on the shot you're trying to hit.
During the whole swing.
During the whole swing versus defaulting to trying to fix your swing. And if you're brand new to golf, Shawn, what do you need to do?
Pick that intermediate point, and then pick a task that you want to send through that intermediate point. And that task is either skipping off the pavement, skipping a stone off water, or cutting through a dandelion stem. Something that gives you a continuous sensation through that point and out over that intermediate point. So you make the intermediate point your target.
Okay, so hopefully that helps you guys. If not, there's comments below. Leave some comments, and we'll talk to you.
Sounds great.